Maybe you are this person. You walk toward the kitchen at midnight. You search for food in the cupboard without turning on the light. You listen carefully to make sure no one else can see you. And then you eat, quickly, mechanically, almost without breathing. By the time you reach half of the package, panic sets in. I did it again. Immediately after, shame arrives. Heavy, sticky, suffocating shame. But tomorrow everything will be different, right? Tomorrow you will control yourself. Tomorrow, you won't be that person. But when tomorrow comes, the same cycle begins again. This is not just a lack of willpower. This is not just hunger. This is a cry of the soul, a hunger that is hard to define. Not the body. The mind is hungry, and the mind is searching for something much deeper. Secret eating behavior is categorized in psychiatric literature. But I am going to tell you something else. This behavior is the language of trauma. It is the adult reflection of a need that was suppressed in childhood. As Carl Jung said, it is the physical manifestation of the shadow. The shadow is everything you rejected, felt ashamed of, and hid. And every night you go to the cupboard, you are facing your shadow. Think about this for a moment. Why should eating be secret? Why does the most basic survival behavior turn into a source of shame? Because this food is not just food. This is avoiding being seen, being deprived of love, not being able to access comfort. Who provided emotional support when you were a child? Who asked you how you were? Who stayed with you when you cried? If no one did, the brain finds another way. Food becomes the price of emotional poverty. Secret eating behavior emerges in childhood in three fundamental ways. The first is emotional neglect. The home may have been physically safe, but emotionally, it was like a dry desert. Your parents were there, but they were not truly present with you. They didn't have time to listen to your struggles, or they listened, but they couldn't understand you. You're exaggerating. There's no real problem. And you learned, my feelings are unimportant. My needs are a burden. My existence is too much. A child like this swallows their needs, hides them, chooses silence instead of crying, tries to solve everything alone instead of asking. And the brain finds a solution: food, a fast, reliable exit that releases dopamine. The second is control and achievement pressure. Maybe your home was perfectionistic. Everything was planned. Everything had to be done right. You were their source of pride, but you were never free. Even your body was under control. Don't eat too much. Don't gain weight. Don't dress like that. Don't behave like that. The pressure was so intense that even your existence depended on performance. And such a child resists secretly, breathes secretly, regains control secretly. Secret eating becomes the only space of freedom, the only place no one knows about, distorted but free. The third is parentification. Maybe you were never allowed to be a child. At 5, you were your mother's confidant. At 8, you were taking care of your siblings. At 12, you carried your family's emotional weight. You were strong. You were understanding. You were the one who didn't cause problems. But who took care of your childhood? Who comforted you? No one. That child grew up, but inside, still hungry. Not just for food, but for attention and comfort. There is only one thing missing in life. Secret eating is the lonely child's attempt to nourish itself. Distorted, painful, but still an attempt. Think about this. This behavior is not malicious. It is a survival instinct. The mind regulating emotional balance through food. Neurobiologically, it works like this. Under stress, the body releases cortisol. Cortisol raises blood sugar. But at the same time, the mind seeks relief. The amygdala goes into alarm mode. The prefrontal cortex shuts down. And the limbic system takes control. Give me dopamine. Now. Immediately. That's why you can't think rationally in that moment. That's why you can't say, I'll fix it tomorrow. Because your brain is in survival mode. And this mode does not see the future. It only perceives the present. Carl Jung said that people call it fate when the unconscious directs their lives. Secret hunger is not your fate. It is your dark side. The dark side is the sum of everything you rejected in yourself. What did you hide as a child? To be a good child? Your anger? Your needs? Your fear of being too much? You hid all of it, and none of it disappeared. It was just pushed into the darkness. Now, every night, you go to the kitchen, you meet your darkness. In those moments, your shadow is saying this: I am here. I am still hungry. I am still waiting for you to see me. But you feel shame because the dark feels unacceptable. The essence of Jung's therapy is the integration of the shadow, not destroying it, accepting it, talking to it, asking, why are you here? What do you want from me? And listening, truly listening. Maybe the shadow will say, I am the part of you that was never listened to. I am the part that couldn't cry without being a burden. Secret hunger is its language, distorted but sincere. Think about this. This behavior does not make you bad. It makes you human, someone who was wounded but survived. What about the eternal child archetype? Jung believed that some adults carry a child archetype that refuses to grow up. This child escapes reality, avoids responsibility, tries to stay away from pain. Secret eating is the eternal child's escape route. Today is today, tomorrow will be different, but tomorrow never comes. Because the eternal child does not understand time as a straight line. It lives inside imagination. One day, everything will magically fall into place. But life does not work that way. Individuation means breaking this illusion, accepting the reality of time, taking responsibility, choosing to grow up. But growing up comes with losses, losing childhood innocence, letting go of the fantasy that someone will come and save you. That is why secret eating continues, because it is the last remaining territory, the only space no one can interfere with, the only moment where being a child is still possible. But this child is unhappy, hidden, ashamed, trapped in a loop. Jung's question is this: are you ready to let this child grow up? Healing does not begin with rejection. Healing begins with presence. This is where self-parenting comes in. Not changing the past, but changing your relationship with the present, your relationship with yourself, your relationship with the child inside you. What were you telling them? That they are bad, out of control, a failure? What if instead you said, I see you. You are tired. You are hungry. And this is normal. You are not looking for food. You are looking for comfort. And I can give that to you. How? Here are the steps. First, recognize the trigger. Secret eating never happens in a vacuum. There is always a trigger. Maybe stress, maybe loneliness, maybe a feeling of inadequacy. Try journaling. Before each snack, ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What emotions are present in my body? You don't need to answer. Just asking is enough. Second, break the dopamine loop. Your brain has learned the association between food and relief. To break it, you need alternative dopamine sources: music, movement, textures, a soft blanket, a warm shower. They may seem ordinary, but they are neurobiologically effective. They calm the amygdala. They reactivate the prefrontal cortex. Third, communicate with the inner child. Set aside 5 minutes every night. Close your eyes. Imagine your younger self, 5, 8, or 12 years old. Ask them how their day was. Listen. Maybe they'll say no one paid attention. Maybe they'll say they were exhausted, but couldn't say it to anyone. And you, as the adult, say, I hear you. I'm here. This may seem childish, but it is one of the most effective parenting methods. Fourth, externalize shame. Shame grows in secrecy. It shrinks in the light. Tell it to someone you trust, a therapist, a friend, or a journal. Say it out loud. I resort to secret eating, and I feel ashamed. Saying it lightens the burden. Fifth, accept imperfect progress. Healing is not linear. One night will go well, another will not. This is completely normal. Individuation is not about perfection. It is about being accepted with all your parts. Your good days and bad days are both parts of you. Think about this. When the cycle breaks, who will you be? When secret eating ends, who will you be? This question can be frightening because this behavior has become part of your identity. But you are not that person. You are a human being learning to live with a wound, but the wound is not everything you are. When the wound heals, you will still be you, just lighter, freer, more peaceful. Jung said the second half of life is spent uncovering what was hidden in the first half. You are here now. It is time to reveal your shadow. This takes courage, because the shadow hurts, but when integrated, it empowers, because the shadow is your lost energy. You are reclaiming suppressed potential. When you accept it, you take your power back. You regain your capacity to choose. Secret eating is no longer an unconscious reflex. It becomes a conscious choice. And when you can choose consciously, you are free. Maybe tomorrow you will eat again, but this time you won't feel bad because you will have learned to forgive yourself. Maybe a week later you won't feel the urge to eat, and this time you won't see it as a victory because it's not a victory. It's just a day, and life is made of days. Imperfect, complex, but yours. This is real healing. Not control, but acceptance. Not resistance, but flow. And you are moving forward, slowly, but steadily, at peace with your shadow, protecting the child inside you. And maybe one day, not too far from now, you will go to the kitchen, turn on the light, and eat in peace, because there is nothing left to hide, nothing left to be ashamed of, just food, and you, being human, not broken, whole. Welcome home. If this resonated with you, if parts of this felt uncomfortably familiar, you are not alone. This channel exists for people who think deeply, who feel quietly, and who are trying to understand themselves without masks. If you want to continue this journey, you can subscribe, not as an obligation, but as a choice to keep looking inward. More reflections like this will be here when you are ready.